Is Donald Trump doing with COVID what Herbert Hoover did with the Great Depression? Sure looks that way. Check it out, leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. So I guess the question that I would lay out, should you be inclined to try to answer a question, is Donald Trump doing the same thing that Herbert Hoover did back in the 1920s and early 1930s? And will the result be the same? Herbert Hoover, you know, the stock market crashed in October of 1929. It got really bad by January, February, March of 1930, and then spread across the rest of the economy in the early 1930, earlier in that year, 1930. So that by 1931, and Herbert Hoover was still president, by 1931, unemployment was sweeping across the country. It was up around 15–20%. And pretty much about where it is now here. And Herbert Hoover kept saying, this is just a dip. You know, capitalism does this every 7 to 10 years. You have a recession. This is just a recession. We'll get out of this. It's gonna weed out the weak companies, and the strong companies will survive. And just hang on. Don't worry. We don't need to do anything. You know, kind of whistling past the graveyard behavior. And of course, in the election of 1932, November 1932, the American people overwhelmingly said, screw that, and elected Franklin Roosevelt, who said that he was going to, his first job was going to be to do something about the Depression. And he did. And he became insanely popular. He was reelected, well, he was elected 4 times to the office of President of the United States, nearly served out 4 terms. His 4th term, of course, he had a stroke and died. While in office, putting Harry Truman in as president. And then Harry Truman ran for re-election and won as well in the election of 1948. So is that what's going to happen now? Is Donald Trump's denial? I mean, you got Scott Atlas now, Trump's Ebola czar for all practical purposes. That's not his official title, but he's clearly the guy who's in charge of coronavirus policy. Scott Atlas is a quack doctor who used to pretend to be a doctor. I mean, he is a radiologist, right? He knows how to read an MRI. That's what he does for a living. Like that helps a lot, right? But, you know, he played a quack on Fox News, and he is a quack. He's dispensing BS, non-scientific medical advice and comments to the people. And over the weekend was out saying, basically, don't worry, be happy. I mean, it's just like, this is, frankly, obscene. I mean, this is what Scott Atlas. Keep in mind, this is a doctor who is supposed to be our chief guy on coronavirus. Over the weekend, he tweeted, "The only way this stops is if people rise up. You get what you accept. Hashtag freedom matters," which is one of the slogans from Freedom Works, which is one of the groups that the Koch brothers started back when we elected a black president to try to prevent him from having any kind of success at all, particularly with regard to Obamacare. Hashtag freedom matters, hashtag step up. And, you know, Gretchen Whitmer, this was a new attack on Gretchen Whitmer as well, the Democratic governor of Michigan. And, and she says, yeah, they love to go after me. She says, we know that the White House likes to single us out here in Michigan, me in particular. I'm not going to be bullied into not following reputable scientists and medical professionals. A little bit of a slap at Atlas, suggesting he's not reputable. The Attorney General for Michigan, Dana Nessel, says, I look forward to a new federal administration that works cooperatively with our state government to protect Michigan residents. A patriot, the Attorney General of Michigan said, is one who protects America from its enemies, both foreign and domestic. COVID-19 is the enemy, not each other. Stop pitting Americans against each other and start supporting policies proven to effectively fight the virus. So this is the situation. And it sure looks to me like Donald Trump this is like right out of Herbert Hoover's playbook, and essentially right on time. It's 80 years since the end of the last crisis that was caused by Herbert Hoover. That crisis ended with World War II and resolved itself, more or less around 1950. In 1950 to 2020 is that 50, 60? That's 70 years. Okay, say 1940. That's 80 years. And this is what, of course, Strauss and Howe proposed in their book, The Fourth Turning, that every 80 years, people, by the time you hit 80 years out, people have completely forgotten the stupidity the last time somebody did something stupid, and they repeat the same stupid mistake. And you get another crash, another war, another political disaster, and a new Reformation. 80 years ago now was the Great Depression and World War II. 80 years before that was the great crash of 1865, followed by the Civil War. 80 years before that was the great crash of 1770, followed by the American Revolution. And they take it all the way back to the War of the Roses, literally every 80 years. Now, it's very kind of facile and mathematical and all that, but it sure seems to me like that's what's going on.